Hello and welcome to my knitting podcast. I'm Marleen and I'm called Sunny Sea Knits on Instagram and on YouTube. And this is episode 37. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands and I'm living on the coast of the Netherlands, in the west coast actually. And I really adore knitting and I would like to talk about my knitting to you. Today I will talk about the Sanna Cardigan, which I finished, what I'm wearing, and also something new. I am trying to design a pattern for a hat, and it's taking a longer time than I would love to, but now I have a little bit time off for 6 weeks. That's a lot, and because I'm changing jobs, and I will start my new job halfway January. So I have more time to also pay a little bit more attention to my pattern. And I have the Dutch version finished, but I still have to translate. So yeah, I will come to you later on, because otherwise I'm already talking about that. But first things first, I'm wearing the Chestnut cardigan from Marie Wallen, and I used British Blue Breeds. It's her own yarn. It's a little bit expensive, quite expensive actually, but it's really soft and very nice. The only thing that I noticed is that, because in the armpit it gets a little bit more warm and then it gets a little bit felted. So yeah, that's the downside of it. I made it in a size medium, and I'm actually between medium and large. I'm always, going between them for some reason. But I would actually advise, if you're like an M/L, I would really go for a large, because this is very nice and I fit it, but it's not tight, but it could be a little bit more wider. And also I knitted it in round and sticked it, so not with the panels how the pattern describes it, but I think that also made it a little bit more, tighter, even though my gauge was okay. But so there's not so much positive ease in the pattern, so I would really recommend to knit, even one size larger than you are, if you want to knit it, of course. And it's really much fun. I loved it a lot. It took a very long time as well, but I loved it a lot because there's so many colors and it's really nice. There's so much, I will show it a little bit more closer. It's very nice to see all the colors. It's the felting. No, pilling, sorry. If you want to know a little bit more, watch the episode where you see me wearing it the first time, because in that episode I explain a lot about this cardigan. And I want to talk to you about my design. So I'm designing a hat, and I made it 1.5 years ago for a friend of mine who owns sheep, and it's a Ouessant sheep. And there are very, tough sheep. So they're like very strong, small sheep, and they have nice yarn as well. Of course, I'm not spinning. If you know me, I don't spin. So I asked a lady, Joke Klein, to spin and to, carding and spin the wool for me. And she did, and I'm very, very happy and grateful that she did. But because now I have the yarn of the sheep of friends of ours. And the sheep is called Daan. So it's a Dutch name. So that's why it's called the Daan hat. But I think it will be in English the Dane hat or something. I don't know how you would pronounce it, but I'm sorry. So it's a Dutch name for an English pattern as well. So the first one I made for of course that friend of ours, but that was like a trial and it looks very different than the pattern that I made up now. And this is the medium. I made it for my husband and he really adores it a lot. It's a fingering weight yarn held double. I used it, and the Daan yarn is DK. So you could do it like that, and also use some scrap yarns as well and play around. You could also, I thought also, you could also use a fading yarn. That would also be very nice with the white in between, but as long as it's contrasting. And I made large size for myself because I have a large head. I always have to laugh when I say that. I have a large head, yeah. Yeah, it's a size large I have, yeah. So I will put it like this. It's very nice and cozy. And I made also a small one for my youngest daughter. Size small, I made it as well. It's a little bit, I say this, I didn't have enough yarn, so I made it a little bit more smaller, but in the pattern it's really a wider version. And I just looked, and I have to adjust it, I think. It's a little bit longer than the medium, that's not supposed to be, but actually it fits her very well. So yeah, the pattern needs some tweaking and twitching and tweaking, how do you say that? But yeah. But I already want to do a tester call, so if you would like to make the Daan head, please let me know. You can leave a comment in this video and which size you would like to test it. I made it in like 4 days during the evenings knitting, so I thought like 3 to 4 weeks would be a good deadline. I will do it, I say, if you contact me, I will send you the deadline date, of course. And let me know which size you want to knit as well. You can put a comment beneath this video, or you can, I say, send me a direct message on Instagram as well. That's also possible. And I thought I will put it on as well, so you can see how it fits. And this is supposed to be the L size. And yeah, I'm really loving this. And it's such a nice, yes, it really gives me a Christmas feeling, this hat. But unfortunately, I haven't finished the pattern before Christmas. But yeah, that's how it goes. But if you would like to test, let me know. And I think it's a little bit, so it's not a beginner pattern, of course. It's like an intermittent level, I think. Yeah, advanced, I'm not sure. Yeah, would be as well also. So intermittent or advanced level. But yeah, let me just know, and we can always, I can always help, or yeah, whatever. So don't feel too hesitant to reach out. That's everything about the Daan hat. And I will talk about the things that I'm knitting currently. And I hope you will enjoy. Well, I'm sitting on a different spot for this part of the video. Sorry, my English is sometimes lacking a little bit, or it's not coming to me as quick as the Dutch, of course. I wanted to discuss the Sanna Cardigan, but I want to show you our little Christmas tree as well. I'm in the living room, of course, because that's where our Christmas tree is standing. And we chose for a smaller tree this year because, yeah, as everyone does, we want to have a low impact on the environment, but we still want to celebrate Christmas, of course. And I investigated a little bit that, of course, a tree where you, which you use a long time, has lower impact on the environment. And we thought about a fake tree, but that's also, yeah, it's also plastic again. And what we decided, because last year I bought a small Christmas tree with, how you say, with his feet still in the ground. I don't know how to say it in English. and I put it in the pot on the balcony, and it survived the whole summer. Of course, I tend to the tree a little bit more than the other plants, but yeah, it's still doing it very well, and it's still, how you say, participating this Christmas. And so the big trees, they have to grow for 12 years and then they get cut out of the forest. And so we wanted actually, and I thought it was a little bit sad to cut trees to put in your house and then they're really actually dead. I also don't like flowers. So when I get a bouquet of flowers, I always think, I'm looking at something that's going to die or is dead already. And I think that's really sad. I like plants because they're alive. So as long as they are in a pot, I like it. But like a bouquet of flowers, it makes me really sad actually. So a lot of people have different associations with plants, or with flowers to get a bouquet. And I have really, some people get really happy about it, but I always think, oh, they're dead. And I think actually also with the tree. So we decided to have a little bit lower impact on the environment, but of course it's not ideal. Better is not to buy a Christmas tree at all. But we decided to buy a smaller tree because that's also better, and in a pot so that he still has his roots. Of course, it's too small for a Christmas tree to really live a long time because they need really longer roots actually. But we decided, as long as he lasts maybe the second year or the year after, it's already better than buying a large tree which is cut down and dead. So that's why we have a really cute small Christmas tree, and I hope to tend to it well again. And we have, heating in the floor. So he's standing a little bit up because otherwise it gets too dry, I think. And yesterday with the children it was very nice to decorate it, and I enjoyed that feeling that the children, had that coziness of Christmas. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm sorry, we live next to a fire department and they're practicing now, so that's the noise that you hear. But I hope I can edit it out a little bit. But that's and of course they need to practice as well. So they have a big bucket on the truck that goes up where they're standing in, and that's what they have to practice to get people out of buildings. Enough about the fire department. So what I wanted to talk to you, of course, is something knitted, and I have to get my notebook. Something's dropping out of my notebook. I'm very, behind with everything in my notebook. I really need to give it a little bit more love and attention because, it's my administration is behind. I chose the Sanna Cardigan and I made it in Line from Sandesgarn, and it's a pattern by Crea from Rebecca Clow, I think is her name. And I chose, it's a 50 grams for 110 meters. So that would be worsted, I think. No, DK then. Sorry, sometimes I have to think about it. But it's DK, and I made it in a size large. And I bought 7 skeins, but I only used 5.5 of them. So with 6 skeins for a size large would also be very okay. And I, for the hem, you need to have a 3.5 millimeter needle, and for the body is a 4.5 millimeter needle. The gauge was 16 stitches for 30 rows. The rows I got the gauge, but I thought it was very difficult to measure the gauge because of the lace pattern. So once I had 14 stitches and then 16, so I was really doubting if I had the right size. And it looked also very large when I was knitting it. Of course, I was knitting size large, so that it would have explained it. But I don't know, it felt a little bit too big or something. But when I fitted it last, I thought it's really perfect. So if you have that feeling while knitting, is it getting too big or not? It's really fine. So, of course, it's with that also you have to make sure you have the right size, of course. I chose color, I don't know if I already said that, but I chose color of the line from Sanna Cardigan in 3011. That's the name of the color. I don't know the name actually. I thought it was something like beige or sand color. I don't know. I bought it at a Dutch yarn store. Actually, it's an online shop. Fjaere Handmade. She is situated in Dordrecht, and she also has. If you are in the Netherlands and you would like to visit her shop, it's at her house. You can make an appointment. You knit it from the bottom up, and then you split for the shoulders and for the back. And I did some adjustments because normally it's going up and then like this for the so there's no V-neck, and I changed it to a V-neck. I will put it on, then you can see it a little bit more better. So this is it. I'm very happy. It's, how you say, it really fits me well, and I'm very happy with the fitting and also with the yarn. The line is really soft after blocking, so it felt during knitting a little bit tight on the hands, but now it's really actually feels really good and softens up a lot. So what I was explaining before I put it on, like the normal neckline is more straight and then like this, but now I made a V-neck and I really enjoyed that. I started with the decreases, I have to say it right, I think from here I started decreases until the amount of stitches that you needed on top of here. And what I did, so it's bottom up knitted, and also the sleeves are knitted bottom up, but it's not that much, it's just one repeat. And you do the 3 needle bind off, and actually it's really like sewing. So when you're sewing a sleeve, you also put the sleeve inside the whole garment with the right side to each other. So if you will put it like this, so right side to each other, and then the 3 needle bind off is with the needles, I say, still you pick up stitches from the body, and you still have the needles around the sleeve, and then with another needle you pick up both stitches, and then you just with other yarn you just knit. And important is to really do it loosely, because you want to you I already know you don't want to have it too tight. So because otherwise your strong arms like mine don't fit into the sleeve. So I'm very happy that it worked out, because it was first time for me doing a 3 needle bind off. And for the bottom bands, she advised to do with 7 rows to pick up 5 stitches. So I did like 4 rows and then picked up 3 stitches, and then the next 3 rows I picked up 2 stitches. So if you have 7, oh, that's difficult. So with 4 rows you pick up 3, and with 3 rows you pick up 2, something like that. And that prevents, that it's, so the bottom band needs to be trimmed to have a good, to look good. So it looks finer if it's a little bit trimmed, then otherwise it will float out, as I always explain. Then you get like this, and you want to have it a little bit more upward, like I always say it's like a Coco Chanel jacket. You know, you want to have it more straight down at the hem. That's about it about the Sanna cardigan. I'm very happy with it, and I think I discussed everything that I wanted to discuss. I will put in a video where I'm standing up and you can see the whole, the whole Sanna cardigan. So I'm just going to leave the Daan hat on because I enjoy it and it's nice and warm. We always have the temperature very low in our living room. We have a floor heating, as I already told you. With the floor heating, it's better to leave it, on a low temperature the whole time. Then it's more warmer and it's also better for your legs. Then you don't get, I say that in English, varices. In Latin, it's called varices. I think it's in English as well. Because heating, if you the floor heating, if it's too warm, then you're have more risk of varices. And of course, I don't want varices on my legs. Let me see. What I forgot to tell about the Daan hat, I still need to make one for my eldest daughter because my youngest daughter already has one. And I bought this one at Fjaere Handmade as well, but it's in a green color. And my eldest daughter loves yellow and blue, and she wanted. So she saw this color. So she saw this color, and she said, "No, that's too green. I want blue, really blue, with yellow." And I said, "Yeah, well, blue with yellow." I said, they're beautiful, blue and yellow, but I don't think mommy likes to knit. It really needs to be white with blue. So I tried to bring it as how do you say that? Pedagogisch verantwoord. So on a good way, so that she feels right about her color choice. But I said, I think the pattern is really with white and blue, or yellow and white could also maybe be. But so then she chose white with blue. So now I'm asking Greetje from the store Fjaere Handmade if she still has more yarn in this lot color. So I can knit, for example, a cumulus tee with it, because I really love to have a cumulus tee in this color. And then I will order as well new blue ones, because I have a white. Unfortunately, the colors of Daan, the Ourson sheep, it's empty. I used it up, so I bought a new white. It's just a DK weight. So I hope to have it finished next time. Then what I'm knitting is the Kutuvakika Arctic Light sweater, and I'm knitting it with Peer Gynt from Sandeskar, and it's a rustic yarn, and it has a mild, very very mild itchiness to it, but I think it's okay, and I love this color. And this is what I came up with. It's knitted on a 5mm needle, and it's recommended to knit the neckline with a 3mm needle, but I did a 4 to get more stretch out of it, because I I hope that when I'm wearing it, it has a little bit more open neckline, but maybe that's not going to happen at all. But I hope, at least I already did a lot, to get that, and I'm knitting it in a size large. So in a size large. And what else? I'm going to knit it as well, with, of course, the cables, but I'm going to stop with the increases, because there's a lot of increases in the beginning. So this is the raglan, and then you increase here, and it's first you have to increase a lot for the cables, but on a certain amount of stitches. There are no cables. It's only with rows like knit, purl, and then 2 rows the same, and then it's instead of knit, it's a purl, knit, and then you get a moss stitch, I think it is. In Dutch we call it a gerstekorrel. And in those rows I'm not going to increase too much, so I'm going to increase every other row so that there's not too much bulky garment around my armpit, because I think that will make me more broader than I am. And not that I'm very happy that with my body and how it's shaped, but with those things I think, yeah, it looks nicer if it's more, smoothly increasing. So increasing here a lot and then lesser in the armpits. Yes, so I will continue, and I really enjoy every cable, and there are also bubbles and this cabling, and this beautiful cable in the front. I don't know if you can see it proper, but yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot. And it's really nice to make. Every row something different happens, so it's very nice if you want something challenging to make. And the Fjaere Genser, it would also be fine to combine it with mohair, but I chose not to because then it will get too expensive. I have also yarn in white with white mohair already, and I'm still doubting to make, if I love the pattern I will make another one, and otherwise I will use it for a different pattern of Kuturfabrika. The something with shells, I don't know the name, but for a different pattern. Sorry, I'm recording downstairs, but then you also hear a little bit of the traffic. Yeah, I hope I can get that edited out. So I went to the Knit To Purl To Festival in Breda, organized by It's a Sarah. Sarah from It's a Sarah, she's called on Instagram. And it was very, very nice, and we enjoyed it a lot. And please don't feel like you should have fear of missing out, because of course it was lovely and very nice and very different than all the other yarn festivals that I ever been with, because it wasn't, focused on the merchandise or the yarn that you had to buy. Of course, there were some merchandise or yarn that you could buy, but not too much. It was more focused on connecting with other knitters, and I really enjoyed it a lot. But if you haven't been there, yeah, that's also acceptable. I mean, it was very, very nice and lovely. I wouldn't have want to miss it, but if you've missed it, yeah, then it's like that. I don't know what to say, but it won't be organized again, unfortunately. But this one, this one time was very, very nice. But my yarn friends were also there, and we talked about how lovely it would be to have during my period, I always want to get on the couch, get underneath a blanket and get some tea and some chocolates, and get really cozy. But actually, how perfect would it be to have a period sweater? So like you're walking in your blankets that you want to have covered around you, especially during the wintertime, of course. And then I saw Inga from Knitting Traditions wearing her Fjaere Genser, and I thought, I want that one. That's my period sweater. And I'm going to make it a little bit longer as well, so it will be more like a dress. So I'm copying her, but just because I loved it so much, and I thought that's really something that I want to make, and already have a long time without really consciously knowing. I have it a long time on my bucket list for knitting, so I'm starting it. And I'm using Rauma Vivel, and it's very, very nice yarn. It's so, I really love Rauma. Actually, Rauma Fino, Rauma Vivel. I haven't tried the other one, but I want to try it as well. And yeah, it's really, really nice yarn. Very rustic, of course. But this one is not that itchy as much as other rustic yarns. Comparable with the Peer Gynt, if you know that. And so I started to do the neck. And I will fold it as well like this. And then I have a contrast color in brown for the Fjaere Genser. And yes, I'm very, very looking forward to it. And then I think really my periods, I don't know why, but they get, yeah, I know why, because I'm getting older, but they get more heavier. And maybe also because I'm older now, that I'm more aware about my period. So maybe I also told my body it's okay to feel everything, and that's why it's more heavier or something. Or I'm just getting already in the peri-menopause. Yeah, it's actually I read that it's like 10 years before the real menopause is. You can already have complaints about having heavier periods or more pain. Yeah. And I really always have a lot of pain. Yeah, like 2 days, I always have to take paracetamol and an ibuprofen just to get through the day. But yeah, I already have that my whole life, so that doesn't change. But you know, I don't have my whole life a period sweater, so maybe that helps a lot. Yeah, I think it makes me more comfy and cozy during those times of the month. I hope to, I will show you the next time the contrast color, because I don't have this with me. And I hope to have the cuff, the neckline. Is it a cuff? Yeah, I think it's a cuff, right? I have it finished, and I can start with the body as well of the pattern of the sweater. Then my last project, I don't have much finished, of course, from this one, of course. Yeah, I was knitting Daan hat. And but this is the Maema Cardigan. Last episode I tell you more about it, and I'm also putting it on. I'm not going to put it on today because it's, yeah, I haven't progressed that much. But what I wanted to tell, this part I think is really boring. And also because it's fingering weight yarn, it takes a longer while. So what I'm doing is I'm going to knit on it for like a half an hour during the day, every day, so that there's progress. And I still feel like it's nice to knit, and nice, I say, yeah, it gives me joy then. So if I knit too much on this, it wouldn't give me that much joy as when I'm now knitting like 30 minutes a day. So yeah, those are the projects actually. And the Maema Cardigan is from Pip and Pin. But if you want to hear more about it and you haven't seen the last episode, I would recommend to watch the last episode. So I think I know that this is it. I don't have anything more to talk about. So if you want to test knit, please let me know in the comments and which size you would like to knit. If you haven't have that much experience with color work but you want to start, let me know as well. Then we can talk about it. Maybe we can do something else, or maybe not test knitting as much, but I can help you through the pattern when it's out as well. And I hope you enjoyed the episode as well. Be kind to yourself and be kind to your knitting. And I wish you a lovely day, evening and night as well. And I hope to see you next episode again. Oh, and I forget to tell, you would really help me a lot. Of course, I asked that a couple of times more. If you put a like to the video. And I love to read your comments. So if you want to post something, don't hesitate. Just put something in the comments. And now I will really stop talking, and see you next time. Bye!